Awesome. Well, welcome, Suze. Thank you so much for jumping on here, being part of our group and just sharing some fun expertise in the style world.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Well, thank you so much for having me on here, Jen. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to really decide how we want to do it. You want me to introduce myself, or are you going to? Or
Yeah, well, I'd love for you to, tell us about yourself. Tell us why you love this and why you just feel like it's your jam in helping women in this space.
Right. Well, thank you so much again for having me here. My name is Sue Solari, and I help women look and feel amazing and have empowered outfits at the ready so that they always show up with confidence and on brand. And I am the author of 5 books on style. And I live in the Oak Park suburb of Chicago with my husband and twin boys. And I'm celebrating my 12th year in business of image consulting and personal styling. So it's a very exciting time to be in this business because of everything that's going on with people, clients going back to work into an office situation, or have been in a hybrid or continuing in that, or still working from home even. So I'm very busy right now working one-on-one with clients, and I also have an online membership. So those are kind of the things I'm doing. And I'm just excited to be here and talk with you, Jen, about how our style and our self-image combined together bring us that confidence that we need for showing up and commanding more, asking for more, more in the way of our career, asking for more money, earning more, so that we can achieve our goals, right? So.
Oh, I love that. That's so good, especially with our audience here, right? Like we're focusing on our money and striving to do better with our money. And it never, to be honest with you, Suze, before I met you, I didn't realize like this was such a hot thing, like personal styling. And then when I got to learn about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so needed. I mean, if someone were to ask me, what do you spend the most time on? Your hair, your makeup, or getting dressed? It is absolutely getting dressed. I mean, so thank you for being able to, bring some of your goodness and knowledge to us. So for people, because I know a lot of our audience today in this group, they're like, they may feel like they need to spend a lot of money to feel like they're showing up the way they want to. Or so tell us a little bit about that, or how you can kind of, use what we already have, or what your ideas are there.
Right. Well, back to kind of the original concept of confidence, that is where we, you're not alone, right? In the idea of, taking so much time to get dressed, it can derail your whole day, right? So what I like to help teach my clients is that, there's a method that it takes some preparation, but once you start using some basic strategies of what comes in and what goes out of your closet in preparation, you can start to build that daily confidence so that you always know exactly what to wear for each event, right? So when it comes to that preparation, there's kind of ways that you can go about it that maybe you want to upgrade your style. It really depends on what your specific challenge is. Sure. Maybe you have too much stuff. So when I start to work with someone, we go through kind of like an evaluation of where they are right now, right? So a lot of times I have clients who are their moms, maybe their children are young and they've got help at home. They're at a upper management level and they're like seeking to get to that next level, or maybe they are at already their kids have left, they're in college or have left and they're running companies, right? So they've just lost themselves a little bit along the way in that journey, right? So maybe, oh, I used to be stylish, I used to feel stylish, but I don't know what happened. So that's really like a reflection of where our lifestyle has changed and our wardrobe has not kept up with it, right? So, for example, the last 2 years, I mean, who hasn't been affected by a lifestyle change, right? So I think that's why this concept is so key right now to be addressing, because there's really a pain that's going on. It's like, I can't ignore it anymore, right? So could be that maybe your job has changed, right? So literally have a different job. But certainly working from home or going back to work in an office, that's going to throw a wrench into what you've been doing if you've been working in a different capacity for the last 2 years, right? So it's like, okay, none of my clothes feel good anymore. Like, I don't really even want to wear these structured suits anymore, or heels, gross, right? So it's more than just like updating your style for spring. It's more or less like maybe an overhaul, but how do we do that without you having to reinvent our whole wardrobe and throw everything out and bring in all new? So I certainly am. I come about it with a sensibility and a sustainability sort of perspective, in that what you have in your closet, you are most likely, if you have boredom with your clothes, or you're reaching for the same thing over and over again, or you wear black every day, it could be that you are you've just not kept up with maybe the current styles, and so you're feeling like that schlumpy, more or less. And that you need to really just learn to wear your things in new ways, so that you have kind of like a renewed enthusiasm for what you already have. So I always love to start in the closet first, evaluating what you have. So I've kind of like a 3 steps: evaluating, editing. So that's like the first, of the 3 C's is curating. So it's evaluating what you have. Does it suit your lifestyle and your style aesthetic now, right? And then editing out what is not lighting you up, right? And then creating new. That's like the second step, is creating. And it's really kind of the key to having those outfits and those pieces that create those outfits. And then adding. That's kind of the third step, is adding in. And I think the surprising thing to a lot of women I work with is they don't have to add as many things as they thought they did, right? So, or they're given the guidance and the resources that I have to know exactly what to get, because we make like a focused shopping list. So you're not shopping out there random without a plan at Costco, something here, something there. Oh, random, like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. And it fits. Well, maybe you already have 10 of them at home, like black pants. Who really needs any more black pants, right? So those are like the 3 C's that I use to help women, decide, like, what is the priority here, right?
So I love that. This is what, as you were speaking, it reminds me of like meal prep, right? Like, you kind of prep your closet for yourself, and then you can mix and match the ingredients, or AKA your clothes, mix and match the pieces to what makes you feel good.
Oh gosh, that's such a great analogy, Jen. I love
And
the idea of meals, and also like what you do with, prepping, what your financial goals are, right? Like it's that planning that I think when we get so busy that kind of goes out the window, right?
you're exactly right. And that's why I feel like for anybody who it's really like on their heart to change something, like upgrade their style or their brand or their wardrobe, or to increase their prosperity and their money, not to do it by themselves, right? Because it's so like overwhelming.
And you get stuck, right?
Plus, and you get stuck, or you get frustrated and you're just like, forget it, I'll just keep. But I also loved what you said about, maybe you're not buying a whole new wardrobe, but you're learning to wear your clothes differently or in new ways. And of course, with a lot of women here are looking for ways to save money. So that is a perfect example. So good.
Yeah. The whole idea of I mentioned kind of the sustainability issue because we're both
Yeah.
kind of in the Midwest, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like there is that sensibility to folks in the Midwest. But I think also there has been a shift just in the world, even with awareness as to, what are our priorities? Like where's our stuff coming from, right? Stuff's coming
Yeah.
in, and having some, thought to, what you want to represent, like what is your legacy,
Mhm.
right? So all those come into effect. And I'm kind of getting away a little bit of the original concept of confidence because I kind of wanted to get back to that a little bit about how our confidence affects our ability to earn, right? And then, of course, that ties in with our financial goals. So if we
100%. So
want
yeah.
to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, did you want to touch on that or I can, keep going?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Just
Mhm.
keep going. I mean, I can personally tell you so my real job is working as a nurse, and I felt kind of bored, to use your words, bored with my uniforms. They're like, I'm going to work and it's fine, but I'm not feeling as put together, even in my scrubs, as I feel
Mm,
like I could be. So I
mm,
bought a couple new pairs of scrubs, something, so simple. But yes, please
yeah.
share.
Well,
And
I
well,
love
I
that
will
you,
tell you, I
yeah,
should tell you that I am feeling better in, yeah,
right,
my
right,
updated scrubs, as silly as that
right.
might sound, because it's only scrubs, but
So not silly. So not at all. I actually do work with some nurses. And what happens with anyone who wears like a uniform, if you will, is that you're sort of in that two realms of like, okay, so I have uniforms and then I have like workout stuff, 'cause what I call like sort of pajamas. Like my pajamas and my workout clothes are pretty much the same thing, right?
mhm, mhm.
Um, and then maybe I have like event formal wear. There's really nothing in between. So what do I wear? What do I wear for like date night or even, meeting my friend for a drink or a coffee or whatever. And I love that you knew that what like that the clothes were affecting your brain, basically.
Mhm.
They do, right? So what we wear matters. So even if you are wearing a uniform, but you went and bought a new uniform, so maybe it's in a bright color if you're allowed to wear a color,
Yep.
in your workplace. I've seen one of my friends, she wears like a maroon scrubs. I was like, oh, that's a great color, like better than that horrible blue, that green
Right.
blue, from ER that we all remember. But the other thing is having your scrubs tailored. So that's an idea too, is maybe you can take it
Oh,
in the waist a little bit, or, maybe take your pants in to fit your body, because when your clothes fit your body shape, that's an empowering feeling, right? And Americans in general don't always not automatically think of tailoring as much as like Europeans do. Like, they have less um, items, but they're of a higher quality and they understand fit better for their
mm,
body. And especially the ones that you admire and would think of as an icon. That's another exercise I have clients do is identify a style icon that you could admire and like watch and say, "Ooh, what's she wearing? Ooh, maybe I can replicate that." Um, but what you said, I wanted to go back to the point of what you said about how you felt.
mhm,
So this is where the magic happens, because there is a duality and a circular duality to how you feel and to how you show up. So back to the confidence,
mm,
right? So what I like to say is, for example, I like to use the analogy of, when you're wearing, say it's something that is really special that you love to wear. It's a bright color, it's bright green. Like I don't, I'm into green lately. I want to wear that bright green. Or when I've just come from the hairdresser, that's anybody can identify with that. You're like, oh, I got this amazing blowout. I never want to wash my hair ever again. I mean, you try to make it last with dry shampoo as long as possible because it looks so good. And you feel that confidence. And then others, they compliment you. So like, oh gosh, your hair is amazing today. And you're like, oh yeah. And you're at this high vibe, right? You're orbiting up here, high vibration. You're going to show up with confidence, ask for what you want, whether it's a raise or a new
mm,
job, or you're going to make an impression on whoever it is that you want to make that connection with, right? So if
yeah.
it's a Zoom call, so a lot of my professional clients are, they're conducting presentations, sales calls. They're on either on Zoom or live. And you want to make that connection with your audience, right? So they're either, potentially someone that they want to bring in as a new client. So it's a prospect either way, right? So it could even be a potential employee, right? If you're leading a company and you want to attract the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have that confidence, like, dang, I really showed up today. Like I got the right outfit, it's got the right silhouette, I'm looking good. They're going to feel it too. So that's where that duality, and they're maybe not even conscious of what it is. Like they're like, ooh, look at Jen. Gosh, she's got this really pretty jewel tone on with a nice kind of a scoop. She doesn't have like a turtleneck. I always say, don't wear turtlenecks.
Oh.
There's something about like showing a little bit of skin, like a scoop neck. And I'll share with you guys like some of my tips, just practical tips. Uh-oh. I lost my earphone. Hang on a second. Oh, I gotta get it with my foot. Okay. So they're gonna be like, oh wow, they're gonna listen to what you're saying. That is so key, because a lot of our communication is missed because of the visual is off somehow. Like, you're wearing a black turtleneck and now you look like a floating head. And they're kind of thinking in their mind, like, what's going on with her? I don't know. Something weird in the background. Like if you haven't taken the time to, prepare a good background for a Zoom call, like I've got my books here. I've got a mannequin with a kimono, which is my style, right? And so anybody who's just learning about me for the first time is like, oh, what's going on with her? Oh, she's got jewelry. She's wearing pink. Something going on here with fashion. And so they're paying attention, right? And if you're giving a presentation, what you want is for your message to come across, right? So that's why this dualness of showing up with your branding, with the confidence, is going to get you the result. The result is you get the sale, you earn more. Now you can afford to start saving for that beach house that you want, right? So that's where we start going with our connection between style is a business decision.
Oh, that's
because
good.
It affects those goals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so as we were getting ready for this, would you also say that maybe just if we step back and not think about the job or the workplace, but maybe when we are just feel more on point, we might make better financial decisions?
Right. So I love the way you kind of put that as a concept for our question today, because that ties into you're able to focus on what you do best, right? So I always say, if I need some expertise, I'm going to invest in myself. Like, for example, we have got to meet because we both work with the same business coach. And one thing that I know that I will always need is some form of business coaching, because I want to get to the next level for my business, right? So that's one of my goals, right? So if I don't have to worry about, okay, how am I going to, do that marketing presentation? Because I know I have that support, right? Then I can focus on my clients, right? And bringing them what they need, what the resources and the value that they need from me, right? So when you, for example, don't have to worry about, what you're going to wear for your next presentation, or, like I've given you that help, or you've gotten some kind of help from someone, you can focus on the job that you have, right? Not have to do 10 other jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not gonna, if I have a toothache, I'm not gonna try and drill the tooth myself. Like I'm gonna go to a dentist, right? So going to the expert and investing in, getting to that, getting the goal of whatever it is that you need done, allows you to be an expert in your field, right? You don't have this other thing you have to be trying to do all the time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's so good. Because why would I try to fix my car when I mean, it would be a disaster.
You're not a
Let's just
mechanic.
be honest. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I would know the first thing.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. It frees up time. It's just like, again, back with the meal prep. So someone had given me a meal plan for the week with a grocery list, and then I was like, this is flipping amazing because
Yeah.
that was her specialty. I didn't have to think about it. It was just implemented and I was like, wow, yeah.
Right,
So I
right.
love
And so
that.
that preparation, back to the prep, so it does, anytime that you want to get to a next level, it takes, that input, that learning, right? Bringing in the knowledge and then taking the steps and implementing the action to ensure that it actually happens, right? So,
So can you
yeah.
give us like, what do you think your top tips are, or what did you want to share with us today?
Right. Well, I definitely wanted to start out by talking about how, when you feel good about yourself and you're wearing something that reflects you and,
Mm,
and you as an individual, when you take that time, then, you really then are poised to achieve whatever it is you want to get done today. Right. So I always like to start by talking about that kind of that concept. Right. And then that's sort of the why, if you will, right? And then the how. And then people ask me, well, Sue, it's like, okay, how do what's the first thing I should do? And that is to, um, take some time and look at, go through your closet. Really, you could take the time and take a certain sections of your closet if it
yeah.
is, it just depends on the layout, how you want to do things. But some people are very, very organized. They have it all laid out really nicely, but they have so much stuff that they're overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
I would look at, like, what is your challenge? Are you wearing the same things over and over again? Do you have things that you put on and you keep taking off? Keep taking it off. Like, what is that? You know, so the awareness of, like, what's on the floor, what just ended up on the floor, right? And it could be, any number of reasons why those things aren't right for you. And, that's what, my job is, to help you learn and move on from that state, right? Um, but I do have some resources that could be helpful for doing that. One of my books that I wrote last year, actually, during the year before, now that's 2022, called The 5-Day Closet Cleanse. And it's just a way to go through each section of your closet. Like, today we're going to look at, all, like, skirts and pants. And the next day is all tops. And the next day is, accessories. And we go through each one, and you can kind of do it in bite-sized chunks. You could do it like over a weekend, or you could take 2 weeks and do it. Just depends on, how you want to do it. But I do have also a workshop coming up. So I wanted to make sure and just mention that to you guys. It is a free workshop that I do twice a year. So spring and fall are really the best times to take inventory,
Mm,
really, of where you are now, and set some goals for yourself. Like, okay, it's going into a new season. So it's a perfect time to go in to my closet and look for all those things that I like to wear during the summer, especially if you live in the Midwest like we are. It's so cold, and,
mm.
all of a sudden a switch goes off and then it's hot, so it's good to be prepared, right? So the workshop actually starts next Monday. So it's next week. It's just a 45-minute lesson every day. And there's some homework, which I call fun work, because it's really fun, I think. So I'll make sure that there's a link, that you guys have a link here in the group, to register, so that you make sure you get all the details, and a workbook that I have that's really interactive. So it allows you to listen, but also go, oh, okay, there's a prompt here, right? Like, what are the pieces that I have? So it's called Build a Capsule Wardrobe. And what I love about the concept of a capsule is that it is identifying 12 pieces. So it's kind of it. I feel like it's so doable. It's like
Yeah.
12 things. If I have these 12 things, I
Mhm.
can use them to mix and match and add in a few other layering pieces here and there. But these 12 things are going to allow me to make 30 days of
Mm.
outfits. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with these 12 things. And then, what are those are foundational basics that we use, and we help you go into your closet, see if you can find them, really kind of force you to do that work. And if you don't have anything like it, then, okay, it's on my shopping list. And I do go through a little bit of style aesthetic too, so you can understand where to go to get those things. For example, like if you're a classic tailored style, you know, you might want to go to a place like a J. Crew or Ann Taylor, where things are very streamlined. There's not, they don't create a lot of clothes with details and ruffles and frills. Like if you're a more bohemian and feminine style aesthetic, like I am, Anthropology might be a place, or Free People, you know, where they have a lot of, you know, fun, international sort of flair with tassels and fringe and such. So, so there is a portion in the workshop where we talk about what your style aesthetic is, and then we go through each piece. So I show you examples, and so it's super fun. I did 2 of them last year, so it's the 3rd time I'm doing it this year. And so I'd love for you guys to join. Like I said, it's free to join, and there's some prizes for sharing homework. So that's kind of fun too, because I have a lot of partners that I work with that I'm able to get, you know, gift cards and fun accessories for prizes. So you're already in the running for prizes, Jen, by having me on here.
I love it. Well, I am super excited about the workshop. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Like 12 pieces, and then you learn how to create 30 outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I believe that there is a transformation that comes with creating this capsule. And it does layer in with creating a capsule for travel. So one of my books is called Pack with Purpose, and it's actually based on a video course I made. So I made the video course first, and then I had manuscripts to make the book with. But it really is a response to women who would panic and, you know, freak out over like a trip and not even want to go on a trip, because like, oh my God, I don't even know what to bring. Or they just throw a bunch of stuff together, and they get there and they're like, oh, the stuff I bought doesn't even feel like me. You know, it was sort of a knee-jerk reaction where I bought this for the trip and I wore it on the trip, it was okay. And then they got home, they're like, never wore it again. So I'm doing a bonus during the 5 days of the workshop on putting together your packing for your next adventure. Because now that things are kind of opened up again, and we're all starting to look around, like, where can we go? I'm getting a lot of response from my community that they need help with packing. So we'll do that as a part of the workshop.
I know I am like, well, not anymore. I'm much better now, but I used to notoriously overpack. I mean, it was just crazy. So you waste all this space and all this effort lugging all this stuff around that you're not even gonna use, or like, right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then you have regret during your trip.
Right.
Or,
like, I shouldn't have brought all this. I could have got it all in a carry-on, and now I had to pay for my checked bag or whatever
extra
the heck.
fees. Yeah, extra fees depending on the airline. The biggest thing is like wasted time too, waiting for a bag. What if the bag doesn't go to your destination? That I'm obsessed with a carry-on, because I know it's with me. It's like, it's right up there. It's on the plane, it's right up there.
Yeah.
Right. And it is absolutely doable to create more than a week's worth of outfits with this travel.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm just looking to see if we had some comments. I just want to make sure we don't have any questions.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, let's see. I have someone, my friend Sarah, she says, I've taken so much training in closet coaching, capsule wardrobes, and all that used to offer this service as well. So she loves hearing from others doing the same.
Oh, awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, we all need it.
And then Sarah Carlisi said that you were super helpful to her dusting off and repurposing some old items in her closet.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I'm so glad that you got some help with those. I think there were some dresses and some items that you were doing a photo shoot, if I recall, and kind of helped weigh in on different options for what she wanted to achieve for her business. So I'm glad that she was able to get help. Yeah,
we don't have any questions, just some really fun comments, but I know that I'm sure everyone is excited for your workshop next week. I know I am.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for letting me come on and talk about, you know, these important issues when it comes to feeling good. I mean, we do it every day. We have to get dressed every day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's every day is an opportunity, really, to feel good about ourselves,
Right.
and to have a healthy, self-image, and to have that be a tool to growth.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I love that it's kind of, it's relatable to money, but it's a little bit off topic. So it's more fun. Like, it's a little bit more fun for my group than just money, money, money. So it's a nice break
and
too.
yeah, definitely direct connection to how much you can achieve and how much you can earn, based on how you're showing up and how others are perceiving you. I think the other thing, sometimes people will ask me, it's like, it seems kind of unfair that I might be, that I wouldn't want to judge somebody, like, don't judge a book by its cover, or what, the old adage. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not really conscious, is it? So
No.
I think the thing that you're potentially leaving money on the table if you're not addressing this issue, because it is a human condition to make to make an assumption or an evaluation in our head. We may not even be consciously doing it, right? Of what we are observing, because we are visual beings, right? We think in pictures. We everything we do is stimulated by what we're seeing. So, if you go to a networking event and, here's a guy who is running the event, and he's got a long ponytail and a beard and, a dirty baseball cap, and he's greeting you at the door, and you're like, oh, hi, and you know him. You're like wondering, like, what the heck does that guy do? Like, can he really, like, oh, he's an accountant. Well, can he do my taxes? He can't even get dressed. I mean, you're just thinking these thoughts in your head, and you're just failing to, then maybe ask him about what he does, because you just moved on to the next person, So anyway, that's
100%.
kind of just back to kind of the conceptual sort of issues. But I did want to leave you guys with just 3 tips on how to crush your Zoom calls. If you guys want to hear that. I always like to leave with that one, because that's actually, I like to send those tips out to people who are like, what's 3 things I can do?
Yes.
So whether you're male or female, actually, this concept, I touched on it earlier, is showing a little bit of skin. Now, not going all crazy, and booby and whatever, but just showing a little bit of skin. Like, so instead of wearing like a crew neck white t-shirt, the white is a nice grounding basic under a pop of color. Okay. So it's a scoop neck tank that I have on. And I'm wearing then this top, which is a V neck. So it's just kind of this scoop and a V that is providing like this little bit of skin. And it's just very flattering to have a V neck in general. So if you're like, 101 silhouette, what to do would be like a V neck or a longer scoop, or even like a boat neck of what you're doing. Like if you had a little bit more of a boat neck, it would show a little bit more skin. And the other thing is, if you are, if you're a female with a larger chest, so it eliminates some of that extra volume up here, right? So you're just seeing an image of a more flattering, kind of presentation there. And then, so a bright color. So that it's just more vibrant. It, shows off your skin and your hair a little bit more. The darker tones, and black especially, are the choice that you want to not take if you're on camera, because what happens is you just tend to go flat, and recede into the background. So black, I actually like to say, is sort of a way of hiding, kind of figuratively and literally, because it just there's no definition, right, with black. So it just looks like I said earlier, like a floating head. So you want to avoid black, but and then having something like fun around your neck, so a little bit of a layered jewelry. Doesn't have to be blingy. I mean, it could be, depending on your audience, right? So I'm speaking to an audience who knows that they're going to be listening to tips on style. They may be expecting someone to show up with some accessories, right? Like, so, and I feel naked if I'm not wearing a necklace,
Yeah.
So, so those things, the V and then having some, bright color here, or bright, sort of a focal point. And then the other thing is forward lighting. It makes so much difference in, showing up brighter. And I think we all kind of know now that we have to have our camera at eye level so that, we're making that connection eyeballs, because people want to see eyeballs, right? So like the worst thing you can do on a Zoom call is to have your camera off, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you're not able to connect with your
Right.
with eyes, right? So just like in social media, we always get better interaction if it's us, right? Because
Yep.
our community would like to hear from us and see our eyes. So yeah, so those are my little tips.
I love those. Thank you. So Sue, is there back to your workshop, is there a deadline for registering?
There's no deadline,
Okay.
but sooner you get
Well, of
sign
course.
up. At this point, I think the workbook is coming out this week,
Okay.
so that you could actually give you a few days where you could print it out and even go through. There's kind of some pre-work a little bit. If you're, gung-ho, and I know a lot of people are really excited about it. So
Yeah.
you could do a little work ahead of time, even over the weekend, if you wanted to go ahead and download. It's a PDF that you can download. And actually there are some shoppable links in the back too.
Oh, love that.
So I have a whole bonus page of items that are on the 12 hero piece list where you can actually buy something, which is super fun, because not
Oh,
only, I'm going to give you actually a place where you can go and check it out. So I would sign up sooner rather than later. And then of course you get entered to win a fun raffle prize if you share the information. So it's just, if you think a friend, you want to do it together with a friend, have like an accountability buddy, it makes more fun. And so you can share it with them, either email them or, tag them in a post. So I can put the link here in your comments, and people do have to join my private Facebook group. That's where I'm going to be doing it live there. And that way, once they're in there, they can also watch a replay if they're not able to join it at noon Central.
sure.
So, I mean, I would have to say probably, 70% of people who are watching will watch later in the day when they have more time. So, or I did it at noon so we could be kind of like a lunch break.
Oh, that was smart. Yeah.
Yeah. I have done it before at like 5 p.m., which I think worked pretty good with people who are working from home. But I think now that some people have gone back to work, it's kind of nice to do a lunch break, and then you still have the rest of the day to watch, right? So, share and get ready, I guess. So sign up now.
Sweet. I love that.
Yay.
Before we close, is there anything else? Anything else?
Gosh, I feel like I've talked a lot.
Well, how about this? If there was one thing we could start doing for the betterment of our style, what would you say that would be?
I would say, gosh, I mean, there's several things. I think the number one thing that I like to leave clients with is the idea that just okay is not good enough anymore.
Oh,
Does that, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
well, I got this thing and it fits, and it's just okay. You don't really like it, No, we are not having that. We want to be lit up every day by something fabulous, because we deserve it. We deserve it.
Good.
We deserve,
and so do our clients,
style.
right? I mean, I feel like
the people
our
that
clients,
we work with and
yes,
live with, and like, our husbands and our children and our friends. And it's hilarious. I will come to a lunch date or whatever, cocktails with friends, and they're like, oh my God, they used to do, they don't do this so much anymore. Oh my God, Suze, holy crap, like, oh, I love that outfit. Or like, where are you going? I'm like, dude, I showed up for you, like I did for myself, of course, but I wanted to like be here for you.
Yeah.
And now their reaction is like, what do you think? I did this for you. Like, they will show up like, I knew I was meeting you tonight. I was like, I put on my best new deal or whatever. So I just love that. I love that.
That's so fun.
We're all gonna like raise each other up.
So fun. Good. Well, thank you so much. Can't wait for the workshop.
Thank you, my darling.
So what is the best way for people to get in touch with you? Can they join your Facebook group before the
Yes.
workshop or what?
Yeah, join today. We'll make sure sooner you join, actually better, because if they join at the last minute, sometimes there tends to be a lot of people joining at the last minute. And I want to make sure I get you in there. But yeah, there are a couple questions that I ask. If you include your email address, I will send you my top tips to crush your Zoom calls with shoppable links, by the way.
That's awesome.
So I love to send those shoppable links. And then also the questions are, really kind of based on if you want to join. If you're just doing it for the workshop, I get that. And you can always quit later,
Sure.
Yeah. So some people aren't on Facebook. So, presumably your followers here are watching because we're in Facebook. But
Right.
so I will be sharing links to watch via a recorded link, so that someone who is going to be you'll get an email with a replay that doesn't require that you be in Facebook. So that's the good news for anyone who at this point maybe contacts you, or you're sharing, say you're sharing with a friend, or some of your followers here are sharing. They're like, I love the idea, but I don't want to be in Facebook. Oh, that's okay. As long as you register, you will get the recording that doesn't require the Facebook entry, in other words.
Got it.
So that's just another way to get the help and be able to get that momentum for spring. I mean, the whole idea is to get you like out of feeling overwhelmed, out of feeling I've got nothing to wear, out of feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to a wedding. Holy crap, I haven't been anywhere in 2 years now. I'm going to 5 weddings. What am I going to wear? Right. So this is to get you that momentum.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And we'll just look for, just post the links, whatever you think will be helpful in the comments. That'll be fantastic. So
I'll put both links in there. I'll put both links so that people can either sign up for the workshop or if they want to, if you sign up for the workshop, you will automatically get the other links too. But I'll put that one and my Facebook group in, so you have the two. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, my darling. So lovely to see you.
Ditto.
Fun.
All right.
Hey.
Well, this was great.
Yes.
Let me stop our recording. Thank you, Sue.
Hi, everybody.